Hi, this is Elliot Wave Sage. Let's do a market update. Like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Just use this for your education and entertainment purposes only. So the market is on edge. It's in a lot of fear right now because the Federal Reserve is meeting and it's going to make some key decisions around interest rates and where they're expected to go given all the recent bad news that's out there. So the market is really worried. Is really worried um, about this situation. So tomorrow is a big day. Big day, Fed day. We'll see how it plays out. I do think the market is set up for again a big move, which is normal for Fed day. But typically, there's a lot of erratic price action that happens during Fed day. So where are we? Technically, is really what I focus on. I don't focus on the news of the day, and we'll just look at each stock and see where things are. So the Dow Jones. So technically, we still don't have a breakdown in the Dow Jones. We still have this 1-2-1-2 pattern. Now, 1-2-1-2 pattern always sets you up for a massive move higher, a big pump, because what happens is the news, when a stock shows a 1-2-1-2 setup like this, when it reverses out in a wave 3 of 3, what typically happens is the news is unexpected. No one could possibly think it was coming. Everyone is offside, and they get their faces blown up here, and then that's it. So the market's actually set up for that kind of move tomorrow. So if the Fed does come out any bit dovish in any way, or acknowledges the fact that they really got to be careful raising rates because they could bankrupt the federal government at some point doing that, and it's diminishing returns in terms of hurting the wrong type of people out there that it's meant to try to get at, because really the rates are really just hurting the average consumer out there in some commercial real estate. I mean, it's not really hitting the broad swath of people that it needs to. So why is inflation continuing? Also politically, I think they're out of time to really raise rates significantly. So I think they're just kind of stuck, and at some point they're going to fold on the inflation side, and that's the Peter Schiff interpretation. Eventually, they'll fold. The market will realize this tough talk is a bluff, and when push comes to shove, they'll fold. Now, where that happens, will it happen tomorrow, or will it happen later? We'll have to wait and see. But the market's set up for a big move, potentially to the upside tomorrow. That's what this setup is telling me. The other alternative is you have a connector wave, and we make a whole nother leg lower, which is very possible too, because we are in a wave 2 correction against this cycle. So this could still go deeper, a deeper retrace. So it's very possible that could happen. So that's why you have to use your stop losses. But right now, this is the bullish look at this. The SPY is in the same situation, 1-2-1-2, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens tomorrow. And of course, someone would say, well, that's a three-wave move for a connector, and it very well could be. So that's why you just have to place your bets on where you think the market's going to move. Because if it's a three-wave move and a connector, we'll see a big meltdown to 480. If we don't get that, everyone's going to be surprised and we'll be off to the races. But why would we do that tomorrow? No idea why. I don't care why. I just know that this is the chart. So big move, right? Either a three-wave connector we break down, or it's a 1-2-1-2 and we massive move higher will happen, and we'll just have to wait and see how this plays out. The triple Q's in the same setup. IWM, same setup. So we just have to wait and see. Hang Seng, looks like it's finding support. We're in a wave 2 as well on the Hang Seng, and I expect this to find support and continue higher. That's kind of where I would see China. And it's hard to see China continuing higher if the indices are going to go to 480. But you know, maybe I'm wrong. So that could be an area here for the Hang Seng that finds support later, 1758, 589. Bitcoin broke the low. What was interesting about this structure? So this is an interesting structure because we really don't want to panic. So we bounced here, and we got this bounce, but this wasn't significant enough to reset this cycle. So there's a couple reasons why. So it could have been. So we don't have a cycle reset. It doesn't look like a connector to me. It looks like it's part of the same corrective cycle. So that means it's a triple correction. But we need to just show you. So here, as you can see, it's still the same cycle there from a price standpoint. Here, as you can see, the first bounce did hit the buy area exactly and bounced. So that's good. But now with the breakdown, if it was a triple, the question is where would we see the next leg lower? So that would bring us down to 57,700. Right here, the 54,500 to finish the triple. So that's there. But honestly, it could be finished at any moment because the sequence looks done because you have your 3. Okay, so we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. So it's a triple. And then from the RSI standpoint, we also see the triple correction. So the 4-hour cycle hasn't broke. The daily cycle hasn't broke. So you see this is the most important. We haven't broke that trend, this downtrend line on the daily cycle here, as you can see. And because of that, we're in the same course. So this is not a connector wave. So to use it and stop out would actually be the wrong thing to do, even though it's usually the right move. On a connector wave, you would stop out. Here, you would not really do that. You would wait until 54.5 broke before you would stop. So that you would not put a stop there. So I would be expecting this cycle to correct in a more meaningful way, and then we'll have a pivot that we can really use. But this really wasn't a really strong pivot, but it was a good bounce area. It could have morphed into it, but it just didn't work out that way. So for those of you who don't know what a triple is, it's a W. This is the move. WX, Y, X, Z, and we want all the divergence erased, and you got that. So that's how you want to see it. So you could see more downside, but it could also end at any moment. Do what's best for you, and you'll just have to decide how much you're willing to risk in this bull flag, essentially a bull flag playing out. And some people label this as an A, B, C, D, E even. Right, so just pick your letters, but this is how I would look at this chart. And also with silver, the same thing. It's a triple. You don't have a connector here, and actually the buy on the triple was hit today at 26.4, 25.90. So that is in the buy, and you have your 3 waves there, and then you have your divergence erased. So if it's a triple, this is where it should bounce. This is where it should bounce. Will it bounce? I don't know, but this doesn't really meet the criteria of a connector wave for the cycle. As you can see, we never broke the trend line there, and the 4-hour no break, the daily no break. So we never had a connector. So we're still in the same corrective cycle. So this should end at some point. And we also can label this, by the way, even if this is in a whole new bear market, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll just get it back up to up to 28.2, and then we could crash later. So we should get a bounce, is what I'm trying to say here. Gold, the same thing, working on a triple. Gold is 2277, 2254. We'll see if we can hit that area, and we have not erased divergence, so we'll probably have a little more downside in gold, at least, and then we'll see how the market behaves. There. Did like platinum. I'm going in platinum, playing this in some 1-2s. We'll see if these 1-2s play out. I do like platinum big picture. If it is bullish, with all the with the 1-2 labeling. 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. It almost looks like silver before silver ran. Let's I'm gonna play this and see how this goes on the long side for now. And then oil before I jump over. Oil is breaking down again. We came up in this five-way move. We came up. We didn't quite hit the sell area, and then we're starting to reject down. Hopefully, we can continue lower here. The dollar index rallied hard. It kept this 106.5. The dollar index structure, like I said, I'm still looking at it as a triangle structure. We never got to the sell area, by Fibonacci level. Could we still get there? Possible. As you know, this did not reset the cycle, so this is still the same corrective cycle. So we could still be in the C leg. So we just don't know. And I would rather just not worry about the dollar index at this point unless we take out 107.42. The 10-year also got rejected and then bounced. So very big decision for the 10-year tomorrow, guys. Big decision, right? Because if we keep rallying, this is the line in the sand. Because if we break this high, this high here at 5%. We break 5% as we keep going. Then it's the forecast is going to be much more dire for the market, and we'll have to change a lot of charts around. But right now the market is having trouble in this area for the rates. It can't, every time it's hit, sold, 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 and I think we'll get another sell, is my guess. Same thing with the 20-year. You coming in, sold. So we're seeing a top trying to form, momentum slowing down, shifting that turn, like turning the Titanic. That's what we're hoping to see. If we continue to ice and higher, then we're in a lot of trouble, I think, in the stock market. The VIX, I'm not really charting the VIX. Don't really care about it at the moment, so I'll skip over that. And I think that's all I got to say on the indices at the moment. Technology, let's go into technology stocks. So Apple did have a good reaction off the bottom. It probably looks like to me another five-wave move. Let's take a look here. And so you see you don't actually have divergence here. So looking at that chart, it looks corrective in nature. We did not take this peak out. So it looks like we're still in wave 5. So Apple shows there's probably a little more downside left. And yeah, let's look at a higher time frame. Now the higher time frame, we did take this out. So what it could become is an ABC and put the 4 there. So I don't like to trade it because there's too many options and it's not a clear, we don't have a clear reversal and we don't have a clear correction. So Apple's kind of stuck. Let's see how Tesla's doing. So Tesla had a very shallow wave 2. We pumped in wave 3, and now we're pulling back here. And it looks like to me in another, it looks like some kind of 3, 4. We should get 5. Let's take a look here. Again, here. There's your first cycle down here. So I'm looking at actually, so this is tricky, 1, 2, 3, 4. So actually your 2 wave was really shallow. It was like right here. And then you have a 3 here. So this is what happens in these tight impulses. It's tough to label. You have to go to the 15-minute chart to label that properly. And now you're in 1. All right, something like that. So looks like we're pulling back. And it looks like this is the connector or the bottom. So one or the other. So if it's the connector and we pull back tomorrow in a market dump, look for 169, 165, 159 as a second chance entry. But there is a chance it's already finished. We'll have to wait and see. But that's your second chance entry in Tesla. How's Facebook doing? It's in the buy area, meandering around. It should come out of this. Google looks like it's another 1-2 of some kind within a bigger. Yeah, either it's a 1-2 or we're still in 2 and an A, B, C. So tough to say where we are with Google. So what we're doing is we're trying to look for clues of where the market's going. I think AMD really broke down after hours. I thought I saw it traded pretty low after hours. So here, as you can see, connector. So we have a big connector here, big connector. So if this low breaks at 145, that really does open you up for a lot more downside in AMD. And AMD would head to $80.61, which actually makes a lot of sense given where it is in its cycle, because it's actually, I believe, correct in the entire grand super cycle top in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 now. And if that's the case, we'll lose the entire 5, which is what this would essentially do, and come back and then find a bottom here. So what AMD is telling me, there's some downside. Now, some people could label this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for one more high in the super cycle, but I don't like that because, as you can see, we have a complete cycle reset here on this leg here, right, on the daily and now the weekly. So I don't like that kind of count. I like this is the right count, which means 5 is in. And we'll have to just see. Like I said, looks like earnings didn't come in where they thought. So I haven't read their newsletter, but if it's disappointing, not surprised, we see this push down lower. Let's take a look at Microsoft. How's that doing? Again, looking for 378, 369. Nvidia's really, this is holding up the market. Now this could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, more than likely, and we've topped in 1 and we're heading back in 2. That's how I think we'll look at that. Yep, that's how I would label it. Palantir finding support at a 1, 2, 1, 2. We'll see if that holds up, or this is a connector. Then let's see here. Shopify reversed hard. Still don't like Shopify until we get to these lower areas, and we don't have a connector yet. So again, could be a triple. And just kind of, again, scanning through the market, see if there's anything interesting that catches my eye that's worth mentioning. Oh man, look at CGC and Tilray. Well, guys, I gave you guys this chart, man. I mean, if you followed me, A, B, C. See, I wasn't joking. I mean, this is something. Ain't that something? How's Tilray doing? And look, we had here we had B and C. So we have C finished up here. B came down. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Tilray if it can take this high out, negate my chart. But the CGC is continuation, and here's your 1, 1, 2, 1, 2 out. All right. Let's take a look at what else is going on in the market. Robinhood. Okay, Robinhood broke this low. Did it break it? No, it's held the pivot by a penny. All right, so we've held the pivot by a penny. If it breaks down, we should head to 14.14. But it's a nail. I call it a nail biter. We'll see if the market saves this thing tomorrow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll see. Doesn't look good. If it breaks 14.14 and the wave 2 continues. Baba's in a wave 2. Baidu could be a wave 4 is what I'm thinking. The other option is it's another wave 2, but we'll leave it labeled this way for now. So that's all the tech stocks, guys, that I know I've mentioned before, just to give you guys some things to think about. A lot of things being sold off, as you know. OIH, how's the energy complex? Trying to reverse down to 267. I want to see that move. The XLE, I want to see this dump, this big boom down. Uh, let's take a look at the XME, pulling back in wave 2. Just kind of looking at the market overall to see if there's any clues that give us an idea. TLT hit the buy area. That's a good sign. TMF still support it off the low and a wave 2 if it can hold. But we still have never really hit that buy area. We're a little early. XXX is a 4-time leveraged SPY. Nice connector here. If we break this, I do like to keep my eye on it. Just keep my eye on this because this is nice leverage play. We could get to 24 on that, hold that low, or get down to this area, somewhere in this area. That would be nice. That would be nice if that can play out like that. How's UDAO doing? So UDAO is in connector here. We break down, and then UDAO has a nice setup at 62.59. TQQ, the same thing. Hit the Sol area, but we need a 5th wave, right? But let's just assume the count is off. That gets us to 40. Of course, we'd have to redo the count. So if we do drop, I would like to buy that at 40, 37, this area here. So these are some ideas to trade on. SOXL pulling back in wave 2. This is an important pivot that has to hold for that sector. I'm sure if AMD is dumping, this is going to dump tomorrow. All right, let's go back to commodities. Let's look at the miners because I think a lot of people like those miners. So the GDXJ pulled back, and again, could be a 1-2, 1-2. You look at this count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do see 5 swings here, so this could be a 2 as long as this holds. Here you have a connector, so if we do break, I do have the next buy area here at 37, but until it breaks, I just take the bullish interpretation of that. What's Cleveland Cliffs doing? That's another one. Looks like we finished this 5-wave move off the low here. And we are in another 1-2. So a little more downside in Cleveland Cliffs. Maybe the 16 is where I would expect it, then find support again, and then come out in a massive move higher potentially. So that's an interesting setup here at Cleveland Cliffs. 1-2, 1-2, out. To use. It's on trend line support, buy area, Fibonacci, blah. It's an area that could really be set up to bounce, but there is a bearish potential of this massive top, and if it breaks, it's pretty much going to go straight back down to these lower areas. Very bearish. So very much do or die for the use. A nice trade-in stock. Nice day trader stock there. BTU. We may actually get to our buy area. Boy, you had to be really patient to get down here. This was the bigger picture buy area as a flat we had, and it does seem like that's where we're heading. So this is a nice opportunity, and then even bigger picture. If it's a bigger flat in this wave 2, and we break this 18, then we're going back to 12. Very bearish. Cyclicals and commodities have some really bearish energy nasty chart setups potentially. We have to keep an eye on. Okay, let's look at healthcare. Um, IBRX, we actually had the buy at 139. If people were, someone must have asked me about it. Then if you bought it here, you're probably really happy. I would just hold it. I wouldn't sell it. Uh, what else is going on in healthcare? It's interesting. Healthcare was green today. I mean, it's mixed, but I still see a lot of green. Like Eli Lilly finished green, trying to finish out this wave five, a five to finish super cycle degree 3, unless it can erase divergence, but that's going to be a tall order. Uh, yeah, just looking, nothing else catches my eye. Okay, guys, so that's all I've got today. Big day tomorrow. So it's a big day. Um, one side of the market probably is going to get blown up tomorrow. I mean, just face it, guys. One side of the market's going to be blown up. Why do I favor the bullish side? Like it is in some ways a coin toss because of the setup, and there's no real good clues. But why do I favor the bullish side? Well, a couple reasons why I favor that. Um, China's pretty much bullish. It could support the market, and it's even green tonight, which is interesting. Bitcoin could find early support. Silver is already in a support area, and perhaps the dollar is in an area where it's in a deep retrace of a wave two, as long as this holds. So perhaps the dollar is in something like this, ready to reverse. So I think I would be watching the dollar index. I'd be watching the 10-year here, and then perhaps we'll get a bit more of a market may tip its hand before the Fed news comes out. But I would still lean bullish. I don't like selling anything right now. I really don't. I like looking for buy setups, especially in technology if you get them. We got those in the AI stocks, the others on this bigger sell-off. So now you need to look at other stocks. Maybe you can get a good entry in Meta. Microsoft is going to give a setup potentially to get in that. Adobe is still in a buy area. And then you have your super buy here at the 440s if it decides to go there. Oh, I think Starbucks took a dump after Earth. So Starbucks is in a buy area on open tomorrow if it opens where it was trading after hours. So that's another one, guys. Starbucks we're waiting for patiently to get to this buy area with this connector. And here we are at 81. I think we're trading in the 70s. So we are in this area. So Starbucks could be in a major area for a major 1-2 as long as we hold 68. So that probably be if we're trading somewhere in the 70s on open. I'll be a buyer of Starbucks tomorrow. I'll be looking at that on open, and then see where that goes. How's Nike? Nike again had to back into the low on Nike. And it's coming to its wave 2 moment at 91.62. So we'll see if we can hold this cycle. If we do break this, it's not looking good for Nike on the chart for whatever reason. How's Lululemon doing? Lululemon wave 4 is finished here. We should be pulling back in a fifth wave. And then it's either a run-in flat, it's finished, or we're going to continue down and we get a 1-2, and then we come back down a lot more later, which is probably what happens. Okay, guys. I would say that's it. That's really it for now. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. Good luck trading, and we'll check it. We'll check in after the day is over tomorrow and see how things ended up. Talk to you later.